What's up YouTube? We're at Wholefoods today. I thought I'd take you guys through a bit of a grocery shop. Obviously right now I'm on the road, so I can give you a little bit of an insight into the sorts of foods I might be looking for, especially when traveling, to help with staying on track, as well as give you an insight into some of the foods that I would typically eat had I not been traveling. Let's check it out.
Yeah. Okay. Yo.
All right, so we're gonna do this aisle by aisle. Starting off with the most important stuff first, of course. There's this big belief in the fitness industry that we've got to follow these extreme approaches, right? You've got to eat this way, you've got to train this way, you've got to do this or else, basically. I want to try and show you guys that you don't have to just eat the stuff that's in this section of the grocery store in order to look and perform the way you want to. Okay, so obviously I'm on the road. I managed to plan ahead. I booked myself an apartment, so I've got the facilities to cook a meal. So for me, it's all about buying a few staples so that I can actually prepare a couple of meals with and eat as regularly as I would had I been at home. So with this sort of trip too, we've got a few team events on, a few like social outings, which means I basically want to try and save a fair chunk of calories for the end of the day. So most of the meals I end up making for myself when I'm on the road end up being pretty clean. I hate that word. All right, so starting off with just basic veggies, right? Obviously we want to be enjoying what we eat, but at the same time we can look after our insides. It's probably going to serve us better in the long run, right? So I like broccoli and asparagus for the most part. That's pretty much takes care of my veggie requirements for the day. Mushrooms I just like the taste of, so I'm going to throw them in as well. So that's pretty much my veggies done. Pretty much everything I need to sort of add bulk to my meals to help with sort of feeling full and looking after the inside, so to speak. Also going to pick up a little bit of fruit, just to sort of add into my breakfast for the most part. Berries, low calorie, means you eat lots of them for not many calories. Boom, cauliflower rice, essential when you're dieting. Hopefully I have a blender at my place. Even more handy that it's already cut for me. Easy to cook. All right, fresh fruit, awesome, but I'm only here for a couple of days. Don't want to really stock up on too much of that. Plus, if there is any excess, I can't really take it with me. So a bit of dried fruit, whilst it does tend to have a few more calories, probably a little bit better in terms of shelf life. So keep in mind too, like these are some of the foods that I myself like to eat. The beauty of flexible dieting is that when you begin to track the nutrition in your foods, if you don't really like something or you get sick of eating the same food, you can just swap it out for something else with a similar nutritional content, or change the rest of your day around so that you can actually eat something different. I don't really feel like any fish, so I'm gonna bypass this section. White fish though, pretty low calorie if you are dieting and you want to eat a little bit more volume than otherwise maybe you might be able to. White fish is a good way to go. Well, typically when I do my groceries, I don't need to buy any meat. Workout meals typically sort me out with a couple of meals and all my lunch food, so to speak. So I don't buy a lot of meat outside of that. But while I'm here, I'm probably going to stick with the chicken breast, simply because it's got that lower fat content. It's going to enable me to have a few more calories at the end of the day to play around with. If we end up going out for dinner or going out for a few drinks as a team, I want to be able to enjoy myself. And obviously if I load it up on red meat, which is higher in fat, it becomes a little more difficult to do that. There's so many different things in Wholefoods. I'm seriously jealous of anyone that lives in America and gets to shop here regularly. There's nothing like this at home. Well, it's like turkey and different cuts of beef. Awesome. Thanks, babe. Organic. The super fast way to empty your wallet really quickly. Doesn't really offer any additional benefits. I would probably choose not to shop organic if I had the option to. That guy just gave me organic because I'm a chump. Okay, breakfast foods. I typically eat like a low-fat Greek yogurt. If you've got some more macros to play with, you can probably look at the more delicious stuff. Because I'm not dieting at the moment, I'm not going to get the 0% stuff. So typically for breakfast, I'll have like Greek yogurt with some oats, maybe peanut butter, use some of that fruit on it. The only real difference while I'm traveling is I might not be so heavy-handed with the peanut butter. Again, simply so I can enjoy myself a little bit more should the opportunity present itself. No one likes plain chicken. So many barbecue sauce options. That'll do. Oats are oats, I think, aren't they? I do love cereal. So many delicious combos, but typically very high in sugar, which means you've got to have a lot of calories to play with. I'd rather just keep it simple for now. As I said, it's all about the situation you're in, right? So I've got so many opportunities to sort of socialize and go out with the team at night. I want to make sure that I can actually enjoy myself when I do that. The worst thing is going out with friends and having to say no to something because you've had a huge breakfast and overeaten too much cereal. You can't travel without peanut butter. Whoa! Not that all. Normally I'm a big fan of frozen food. I'm probably not going to buy all that much here because I'm not going to be spending too much time eating at home. Particularly the sorts of frozen foods you might typically buy, like desserts and ice cream and that sort of stuff. When I'm at home though, plenty of ice cream. That's a staple. I eat ice cream pretty much every day. This right here is where the real lifestyle gains are made. Just going in with my fingers. I don't want you guys to think that I'm always eating like just this healthy stuff, so I still eat lots of food like this. It's just that whenever I do, it's in moderation. I'm making sure that I'm making sacrifices at other parts of my day so I can actually eat them without always overeating. So next few hours, we'll make sure we'll grab out a few things to keep it real. All right, so this is the part of Wholefoods that I love the most, particularly when you're traveling and particularly if you haven't got kitchen facilities wherever you're staying, because they make pretty much 150 different meals, which you can create all manner of combinations with and then carton up and just take them home. Last time I traveled in the UK and as well as Ohio for the expos there. Similar setup in the UK, but obviously Wholefoods in Ohio did exactly that for the couple of days. Just popped them in the fridge in my hotel room, that's all we had. But I was able to pretty much pre-package a whole bunch of different meals, essentially weigh them out and eat them as I wanted to or as I pleased at the time I was hungry. It was super easy. All right, so a lot of these foods, typically what I buy both at home and when I travel, simply because I don't really want to be spending too much time in the kitchen while I'm here, I'm going to stock up on this sort of stuff. So as you can see, they do like pre-cooked chicken breasts, a whole bunch of different pasta salads and different vegetable salads and all manner of things you can just mix and match. It's super easy. I got my food scales at home, either that or simply estimate the quantities that you're eating, and you're going to put yourself in the ballpark and in that position where you can be either a little bit more flexible later on in the day or stay as consistent as possible while you're traveling. 3 of these rosemary grilled chicken breasts, please. That's okay. I'll get some Chinese coleslaw, just like a small serve. And then I'll get some Brussels sprouts with beets, please. All right, I think there's some more fun foods over here. This is way too boring for my liking. I don't know what these are, but they look delicious and like the perfect sort of meal for a pre-workout. Done. All right, so in hindsight, my shop today has been like pretty boring, simply because I'm traveling though. When I'm at home, I'm probably a little bit more adventurous in terms of some of the foods I get, but because I've pretty much covered my pre-workout with whatever these cookie things are, I just want to make sure that I've got everything else covered. Essentially look at hitting my macros as closely as possible and then basically using whatever I've got left over to have some fun with at the end of the day. You guys know that I eat lots of burgers and pizza and all that sort of stuff. It's probably going to be that sort of thing that I'm going to eat when I do go out. So I'd much rather do that than stock up on junk food while I'm here, simply because you don't get the opportunity to hang out with Team Optimum every day. And there's going to be a few events like that over the next couple of days. So I'm going to save my calories for that and then look at essentially just hitting the bare essentials around that. This is pretty much the only time you're going to find me at the vegan bar. But I got some chicken before, got some veggies, throw that in a meal, and they do pre-made brown rice, which you can just, again, weigh out when you need it. There's really no difference between brown rice or white rice. I would simply suggest you pick whichever one you prefer the taste of. There might be some slight differences between different rices in terms of GI, but for the most part, if you're hitting your macros, it's probably not going to make a huge difference. If you don't like rice even, you could just go something else like sweet potato, pasta if you've got the calories for it. As I was saying before, flexible dieting gives you that opportunity to swap out foods that you maybe aren't enjoying so much and eat more of the ones that you do want to eat, provided you're looking at how many grams of protein, carbs and fats are in each, you can really get away with eating largely what you want. We just want to make sure that we're as sensible as we possibly can be about it, so that we're not, you know, becoming hugely hungry because we're eating something like, you know, whatever this is. Is it a whoopie pie? I don't even know. You know, if you're gonna eat a whoopie pie, chances are you're gonna have to cut back calories from another meal, and maybe you have to forego your rice, you know, from your main meals, and then remove the peanut butter from your breakfast in order to fit that in. Other days you might just want to eat a whole bunch of food, so you need to stick to options that are less calorie dense. It's all about options. It's all about, you know, trading. You got to make some form of sacrifice at times. Do you go taste or do you go volume? This is where the money's at. This is easily the highlight of the menu today. That's going down before I train tonight. Fun fact, Wholefoods also sells the world's best soap. Literally every time I come here, I stock up on more. So that's pretty much it. Nothing really out of the ordinary. I still eat delicious foods, but I still eat my fair share of healthy ones as well. When I'm traveling, I'm probably eating a little bit differently to how I would at home, in that I'm simply trying to save a few more calories for the end of the day. Hence why that shop today was so clean. As I said, I hate that word. I'd rather you guys look at the nutrition inside your food rather than classify the ones that you're eating as good or bad. There's really no such thing as a bad food, just some that are more calorie dense than others and others that are more nutrient dense. Hopefully you took something away from this, guys. If you did enjoy it, please feel free to share the video and make sure you subscribe so that you can see all of my future uploads.